Joining me now on the Daily Ledger Page 5 beat from our bureau in Washington, D.C., President and CEO of the National Association of Federal Credit Unions, Dan Berger. Dan, this is the risk, right? This is the inherent risk, not only for U.S. companies doing business overseas, but U.S. companies doing business overseas in a communist country. They can do effectively anything they want. And it's a reminder to our policymakers here at home that we need to make the environment here in this country a heck of a lot easier and a heck of a lot less regulated and a heck of a lot less layers of bureaucracy, and these companies might do business over here.
You're exactly right. The fact is, overnight, Apple reduced their revenue projections going into the future, but not only that, they also announced a global shortage of their iPhone. And that's the problem that we're getting. You're not getting all the true economic data, in fact, out of China or the CCP. They're not very forthcoming. They're not very honest when it comes to economic data or other data for that matter. So this does have an impact. And I think what's going to happen, you see reports coming that it's slowing down. But you have to recall, when there's these types of outbreaks, there's almost always a secondary flare-up, and that's going to have an effect on all those multiple supply chains.
And we need accurate numbers, and we're not going to get them. Let's face it, we're not going to get them from the Chinese Communist government here. There's another aspect to this, Dan, when you talk about manufacturing overseas, especially in a communist country, is there's potentially a national security component to this as well. This should be a lesson. This should be an eye-opener. For example, I'm not saying that we're manufacturing tanks in China, but it's some of the components that should not be manufactured in enemy territory, literally in enemy territory. We shouldn't be manufacturing things that are necessarily important for the national security of the United States of America in communist China.
I completely agree. And the fact is, almost all the security cameras around our country that are at financial institutions or at intersections along our roadways and things along those lines, as well as the software that runs these things, are almost exclusively made and manufactured in China. And if you don't think the CCP has a back door to get into those components, to get into that software, you're kidding yourself. It is a national security concern.
I want to talk about Bloomberg just very briefly, the front door of Bloomberg. Here he's got out today a transaction tax that he wants to impose, quote, on Wall Street. But Dan, he's talking about a transaction tax for everybody, whether it's an institution making a transaction or a little old Graham Ledger making a transaction.
That's exactly right. We're still going through his economic plan that he put out there, but he does seem to ding Wall Street, which quite frankly is kind of ironic since he made his billions and billions of dollars selling terminals to the traders on Wall Street as well as around the world. But the transactions tax, it's going to be a non-starter. If you really think about it, the safety net that we have, or the both chambers of commerce, Congress that won't be interested in pursuing something like this.
It's just so bizarre to me that this guy is biting the hand that fed his financial empire. Dan, thanks.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.